Hey guys, welcome yet again to another Loomian Legacy Sweep. I'm Mr. Lucky Luke, and today's one we got ourselves a Fiscarna sweep. Yep, people, we are back, and I finally pulled up the mysterious creature on the water. It turns out to be a Fiscarna. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be trying to get myself a Fiscarna sweep with its very unique moveset and its very unique design. Now, this is going to be a very interesting one. Also, this will be a special Loomian sweep because this will be my 100th sweep videos that I've actually uploaded on my channel. So, or my Loomian sweep channel, or actually it is the same channel. So what am I talking about? But anyways, so yeah, this will be my very 100 sweep. So hope you guys are going to enjoy this one. And I took a little effort on this little strategy, and I came up with, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy this one. Now, looking at its stats and its very unique move pool, it has a very unique stats. It very is more of a defensively set. Now, looking at its bulk, it's very, I mean, it's alright, not super bad. It has more range defense with 110 range defense, and has a solid 113 on range attack, so that makes it obviously a range attacker. Um, its speed is not super good. I mean, it's only have 76. That's not exactly very good. Its melee defense is 84, 79 for health, 88 for energy, and 53 for melee attack. So makes this thing kind of more of a melee, range attacking bulky set instead of a more of a speedy set. But however, today we're going to be running a little differently than most Fiscarna sets that most PvP players use. I've seen a few players run like speed and stuff, and most of them a little bit bulk. Now today's sweep we're going to be obviously running running a more of a bulky set because we're going to be using today the move Recycle. Now, recycle is, well, you can obviously exactly think what it'll do. I mean, if you guys play Pokemon, you should know what this item does. Now, it basically, let me just explain this so you people understand. This move is kind of like, okay, let me give you an example. So, when you consume a item or use an item, you can basically recycle it and use it again. Not all items can be recycled, but most of the items can be. So today we're gonna be making use out of the recycle, and yeah, I think the thumbnail it will tell which item I'm gonna be running, if you know what I mean. Anyways, but besides that, it has a very unique move set and has some pretty alright abilities. Regift, Gummy, and Viscade. Now for today we're going to be using Regift, probably the better option, but you guys can use whichever ability it is, and that's pretty much it. So hope you guys are going to enjoy this one, and let's get into the very first battle. Alright, so let's get into the first battle here, and hope you guys and girls are going to enjoy today's battle. Now, this battle was, this is going to be two battles we're going to show you guys, because two battles was pretty much more than enough to show you guys, because I really didn't want to get a third one, because this strategy did take a little bit of a while, and I did manage to get it eventually. So we got a battle against ZR41X. So this is going to be against him, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy the battle. As we also got a nice little rare POV view with I actually like that little the cam view of them like switching the little cam view. It did look kind of nice when they sent it in Soul Nectar. So that was I actually kind of liked it. Definitely got an improvement in Battle Coliseum. But yeah. Anyways, back to the battle so I don't get myself distracted. Now I'm gonna go for the icicle trap, and then I'm pretty much gonna go for the banana split because I didn't want to get hit by an air blade, so I just went for a banana split and sacrificed my Banoki. However, they did not went for actually an air blade in this one. They actually went for a scavenge, which tells me this is definitely not a PvP or a competitive Wintrix. So obviously I am pretty much free to go for any other moves. So I went for the I swapped into my important, and I was like, well, this is good because I can go for the Boom Bash, go for a couple damage, and then I could go for the tribute. However, the opponent actually had a provoke, so that sucks because I won't be able to use tribute in this battle. So all I had to do is just go for one tribute, and then I pretty much I could just swap into my next Loomian, which I'll show you in a second. And I could have just get out of this battle. But however, they went for the provoke, and I forced myself to go for the tricky tactic. They're gonna swap into Soul Necta, and I can't exactly do anything here, so I'm just gonna go for the tricky tactic in the first turn. Then I'm gonna go for then I'm just gonna wait because realistically, I can go for the Boom Bash or a tricky tactic because I didn't want to risk my ability to KO myself or something. So I pretty much went down, and actually my my resentful is gonna be activated, which is gonna, I didn't want to risk it to KO it, so I just waited because of it. Anyways, the next Loomian in this part of the sweep I'm actually gonna use is Wiki. Now, it doesn't really need 100% to use in this battle, but for this sweep, I actually needed at least to use it once. And I'm just going to go for the brace, and then I'm going to go for the bequeath myself one melee defense, and that is pretty much it. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy this one. The opponent is going to go with the Pester. That is going to be a little problem. However, it's not going to stop me to get this Fiscarna sweep. Hope you guys enjoy this one. I'll tell you more about it then, at the end of the battle, and enjoy the Fiscarna. So I would have won that battle, but they actually salty forfeited. So I would have won that battle, but like, come on, dude. That was a very clean sweep there. So the 3 Loomians that would have been an easy win there was, let's look at here. We got Cedric was going to be a Frost Beam. Windtrick's going to be a Frost Beam twice, even though it could have used Provoke, which, or Scavenge, actually, surprisingly, in this battle. They decided not to use it, which was a little bit of a mistake. They could have actually ended sweep if they didn't held any items on their Windtricks. Then the Sukami was pretty much couldn't have done anything, and I guess the last Loomian was pretty much something that I could have easily one-shot. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is a salty forfeit and a W for me. Now let's jump into the next battle here, as we got a battle against this user here. He has a leash hand. I have never used that word name before, so this would be my first time ever saying it. Now they're gonna go for the hypnotizer and earthquake. I pretty much sent my entry hazards, and then now I'm gonna go for the important and pretty much set up a little bit of a tribute. However, before I do that, I'm gonna go for the boom batch, try to get a nice little daze, which I managed to get it so nicely. And the opponent is gonna go for the hypnotizer or hypnotize. Not it didn't go for hypnotizer. It's hypnotized. I don't know why I call it hypnotizer. It's a little cooler. Maybe that's why. Anyway, so now the opponent went there for the hypnotize, and I cannot do anything here. So I'm just gonna go for the tribute. The opponent's gonna swap into Duskit. So I did feel like, well, maybe this is gonna be just a regular Duskit. I mean, I was randomly. I think this user was like level 37 with like 6 badges. I think that was one of the trainers I thought. I'm going to guess there. So I am assuming this was like some sort of PvP type of a Duskit. So either way, I went for the tribute either way, and I'm gonna swap into Wiki and just go for the same strategy, the brace and the quick strategy. The opponent's gonna go for the peace of mind. So I was a little bit worried. I was like, oh no. Is this going to be a PvP Duskit? Well, we'll find out right now. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy the Fiscarna sweep. Can we get a sweep without any salt? Well, it's only one way to find out. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy the Fiscarna sweep and enjoy the battle. Alright guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed the Fiscarna sweep there. Man, there were a lot of good moments there that I could have easily failed. Just kidding, guys. I actually won that because I got very lucky there. So, most of the moments in these two battles, they were by based luck. Now, I could have clearly won those two battles there. The first one, we got very lucky, and the second one, we got a complete assault on that battle. So, I hope you enjoyed those two battles, and let's take a look at this Fiscarna Moveset that I run. Now, this was a very frail, robust smart set with Milkshake as an item. The moves that I gave it were Mudslide, Peace of Mind, Recycle, and Frost Beam, with Regift as the ability. Now, the moves I was given it was Peace of Mind for increasing my range attack and range defense. Frost Beam for it's very one of the few good ice type moves, and surprisingly one powerful move. We got Recycle for our signature move for the strategy, and Mudslide for basically something that I decided on my own. Now, Mudslide was one of the moves that I wasn't really planning to do as a sweeping moveset with it. However, something that I wanted to show you guys or share with y'all with Mudslide now. I'm not sure how many people noticed it, but Mudslide has now a new secondary effect. Not only is swamp the target, swamp. I think it's swamp the target with mud flow. This also clears obstacles from your side of the area and increases the accuracy. So this will be a cool thing because normally it doesn't increase accuracy, but now I do. So that's something I wanted to try also share with y'all. Plus, not only it's a little cool new feature. I also wanted to try a little challenge because I didn't want it to run. I didn't really feel like wanting to use Landslide instead of Mudslide, since Landslide is kind of similar to Earthquake, but it's for range attack, I'm assuming. So I decided I wanted to try Mudslide instead. Plus, I did need a move that it didn't cost me only 50, because both of my only attacking moves for today's sweep are only cost 50. So I didn't want it to run both of them because it just I didn't really liking run 50 energy moves or at least attacking moves because it's not really my thing. But I did wanted to try use Mudslide for a little challenge, so I did get it to KO a couple Loomians and then ended up with the W. Also, the ability Regift pretty much was a very good ability for this week because I was able to get the Hypnotize on the least hint or less hint with using the Hypnotizer. They basically used Hypnotize, and then I had the Regift ability pretty much bounce back the ability. Basically, if you don't know what Regift does, it's basically like magic bounce. So basically any status move, it'll basically flick back to them. So basically they have except it only does support moves. Well, it says here that when the target is by another Loomian, this support move, it sends back to the user. So let's just hope it's not affected to tribute Loomians, because that'll be a very big refresh. But however, for today, we were gonna use it for any. We were just hoping for any Loomians that has that they use like Flash or Poison, or basically like we saw there, Hypnotize. So basically, the Hypnotize was gonna use. They were gonna use Hypnotize and then pretty much put my Fiscarna to sleep. But with the Regift, I've managed to bounce back the move to their less hint and made them fall asleep. So that's cool. And the TPs and the ups that I run, obviously, the ups are pretty much what you can see right here, maximizing everything. I didn't really want to run too much of attack because we were not running any melee attack on it. The TPs we were running were max health, 180 for a melee defense, 100 for range attack, and 20 for energy. I wanted to run most of likely to run melee defensively, like a very bulky defensively set. So I ran max melee defense and 180 for that. We also gave it a 20 for energy, just to give it a little bit of energy on my Fiscarna, And for the rest of them, I give it 100 for range attack. So it was kind of just simply just use Peace of Mind all over and over again. If I get hit by any attacking moves and my my Milkshake been used, I can recycle my Milkshake and then consume it over and over and over again whenever I need it. Then I pretty much go for the Frost Beam for pretty much anything that is super effective against well, ice types, obviously. And then I have Mudslide for a little bit of a coverage. Now, you're probably expected to wondering like, wait, hold on, why do you have no water type moves? To my surprise, I didn't feel like needed it actually. You know, I mean, it is one of those Loomians that's, I mean, you can run a water type move if you want to, but for today we didn't really 100% need it. But we'll explain right now, since you guys, if you guys are curious at least. For water type Loomians, super effective. Let's see here. For water types, they're good against fire. Let's see here. Fire, electric, and earth types. For ice type Loomians, let's see here. Not ice type Loomian. For the ice type Frost Beam, it's good against plant, earth, bug, and air, which means that's 4. And for earth type, we got, it'll be good against, let's see here, it'll be good against fire, electric, toxic, and metal. So there'll be another 4 Loomian good against. So Maroon didn't really need it to this one. I mean, for its stab type move, I mean, it really didn't require for this one. I also didn't feel like wanted to run too much of it because it didn't really have really creative moves with using its water type moves. I mean, they're powerful, but not exactly what I would consider running. We could have actually used Mudslide and Hydroblast for a little strategy, because Hydroblast is one of the new moves one unique powerful move that does 110 damage but only has 80 accuracy. So you could try use Mudslide as a combination with Hydroblast. So that definitely could be a useful little swap for Frost Beam if you want to do it. Besides that, I did just feel like this is probably the better option. Also, I also heard about one of the YouTubers said this is the better option anyways. So I did trust him, and it ended up working out. So I actually did believe him. But besides that, that is pretty much it. The first battle, I mean, let's talk about the first battles and the second one, and explain also why they count as sweep before you all also wondering. Because we already explained the little strategy, and I'm gonna just explain this small little detail, just a little something extra, just so you all know this will count. The first battle, which let's just take a look here. The first battle, we went for a couple Peace of Mind. We destroyed the hold on. Let me just get this little the little text on my screen. Goes. This one, it was the, okay, I'm getting too many advertisements while I'm talking through my video, right? Where's it? Solnecta, there we go. So Solnecta, I used 1 Peace of Mind, managed to get a KO and got rid of its annoying pester spam. The Wintrix was gonna be probably a big threat because it could have used provoke and scavenge my item. However, I'm assuming the reason they didn't do that is because they held an item for scavenge. So scavenge couldn't steal my Milkshake, so I couldn't recycle. Because if they did have no item and they used scavenge, they could have actually shut down my my Milkshake strategy, which ended up with me basically had no way to heal up. Or just provoke, because I mean they could also provoke technically to prevent me to use any status moves, so they couldn't basically say, they just like, oh, you're not going to use Peace of Mind or recycle anymore. So that could have been one of the few things they could have done, but instead they didn't, and I'm guessing they just didn't want to sacrifice their. I mean, I could have probably rest there after the once I use Peace of Mind on the Wind Tricks, and the Wind Trick didn't really have any really big threatening moves that I can really think of. If I am at least mistaken, it did have. Let me see if I have it on my my own Wind Tricks. Let me just make sure. Wind Tricks. Let's see here. I'm just gonna make sure so I know if it had the move that I know of. Let's see here. Hold on. There it is. Wind Tricks did have has Brain Freeze, which is an alright normal ice type move. I thought it was actually super effective against. It said super effective against Mine types. I thought it was water types. Guess it changed it. Huh, I don't know. Besides that, it could have used Air Blade or Resonate or pretty much those only two moves. I mean, Brain Freeze would have probably done nothing. I mean, I had like max range defense by that time. I already spammed those beautiful Peace of Mind. And let me see here. Let me think if there's anything else. The Cedric had 1 minus speed drop from the Banana Split, which means 1 Frost Beam would have been more than enough. And the final Loomian, I'm guessing they just had something that I couldn't, or I had something that I could easily one-shot. So they didn't use it and ended up forfeiting, which means that was 100% a guarantee a sweep. The second one, we got rid of pretty much all of the big threat. We got rid of the Terry's the Dent. We got rid of the Dakuda, and one more that I completely forgot. The Oxydrake. Let me just make sure so I don't mistake. Oxydrake. So Oxydrake was more down, and the last two was Duskit, which is going to be a Frost Beam, and Less Hand was going to be any move. I could have gone for the Landslide or a Frost Beam and just took it out, and then that would have been a win. So yeah, that is pretty much the little full explanation and how it would have ended. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the Fiscarna sweep, and hope you enjoyed this Swedish Loomian sweep, you can say. And I really want to say something Swedish there, but you know what? Yeah, actually, no, let me say something. Hoppas ni gillar videon, subscriba, likea min video och se hörni i nästa video. I know people have no idea what I said there, so I'm gonna say it in English. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's one. Subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it. If you have any recommendation, if you want me to sweep next, let me know in the comments. Check out the playlist before you ask any Loomian sweeps, and make sure this tell me any Loomians that has not a Soul Burst Loomian, because I don't want to do any Soul Burst Loomians. I already explained it in my Vespa 2 sweep. I am not planning to do any Soul Burst Loomian sweeps. I will wait for them until they get a Soul Burst move. Otherwise than that, I am pretty much free to ask, just to have any if you guys want me to sweep any other Loomians, feel free to. I will try it out, even some baby Loomians. I'm actually, you don't guys have to ask me only the fully evolution Loomians. You can actually even ask me for some ridiculous ones like, I don't know, a Ploff sweep or something, or a Scorp sweep. There it goes. I will do any ridiculous sweep if you guys want me to or not. I am planning to do a Terrafly sweep in the future when they do get a remodel. But other than that, I don't think I have nothing else to say. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. Subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed today's one. And yep, that's pretty much it. And as always, stay lucky out there. Check out my other sweeps. And oh yeah, the next upload, I'm not going to be making a Loomian sweep. I'm actually going to do a reaction. So if you don't like reactions, then you'll have to wait after that video. So yeah. But by the meantime, you guys can ask anything in the comments if you want me to sweep me next, and I shall try my best. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. And as always, stay lucky out there.